In Bible, there is nothing like church wedding. Wedding is traditional. Wedding is family. But when you are a Christian and you have come into the body of Christ and have accepted the church, church also has its own tradition. So you will now submit to the tradition of both the church, but the church believes in the tradition of the family when it comes to marriage. Because basically, from the beginning, marriage is a family affair. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Go and read everywhere in the Bible. Marriage is a family affair. People can go and, Pastor, I'm traveling. I want to do so thing. I want to go and pray the bride price of a woman. All I will ask is that you have to do marriage counseling. Because we are not just doing wedding. We want marriage to work. We don't want you to live and scatter yourselves. Counseling is key, is germane. Those days, they don't bother. But in today's world where things are really messed up and you want people to live a good life, you have to call them for what? Counseling. What the pastor does for you is the prophetic blessing over your marriage. But when your parents release you and they have accepted a price, the father of the lady has to accept a price. It is very important. Even if it is 1 naira, anything, and he says, go. Both of you are free. If you leave that day and you say you want to start living together as husband and wife, if you don't belong to a church, you are not in disorder. If you belong to a church and the church has an order that you're supposed to show up and follow its own order, and you go against it, you are walking in disorder. Are you getting what I'm saying here? So that's where the white marriage comes in, the white wedding comes in, where the church says that now both of you, family has given consent, but you still want to come to the altar, you still want to come and wear white, you still want, don't go and live together. Because going to live together means that you are disobeying another institution and authority that you willingly subscribe to. Nobody forced you. Are you getting what I'm saying? But if you have not willingly subscribed to such institution and you don't have a pastor, you don't have anybody, naturally, if a family releases a woman to the man after he has paid the bride and satisfied the condition of that family, they are married. Are we clear? Does it make sense to us? Because we have to put a balance to it. So that when those people come and they say, Pastor, we don't have the money for all these receptions, or we have money but want to use it for our business and we're not ready to do anything, I will tell them that based on the system of our own church, you're not supposed to go and stay together and start living together. So this is what you will do. Immediately you are coming from your traditional wedding, rush up to the church, come to the office. I will recite the marriage creed and everything over both of you, and you will take your vows in the presence of God. We have 2 witnesses and we'll release you into your family. Because if you go and start living together like that and there is a church authority over you and you refuse to follow our own order, you are walking out of what? Order. Order is based on the submission you have to an authority, an institution, a government. By nature and default, all of us are submitted to our family. Is that not? By association and religion, as it were, we are submitted to where? The church. And now these 3 institutions too I've mentioned now. There is a 3rd one called the state. If you go and do that wedding that you have done in your family tradition and you do not go to the local registry for the joining together of both of you, you are working against state order. If you need anything from the state and you cannot provide the certificate of the state will not listen to you. So you need whatever you want to do and you need to present that document. The state will say, we don't know you. You say, why? He said, because you did not come to us and you're supposed to be subject to us. But you are subject to your traditions. So let your tradition give you the certification and the document to travel. The spirits of Amadionha will give you. If that's what you're subject to. Are you getting what I'm saying now? And for every woman under the sound of my voice, if a man comes to you and they want to marry you and they refuse to go to the state, you are not protected. Because under tradition, the man can marry 32 wives. Under state law, he can marry only 1. Do you understand? So if whatever the man is saying, blah, 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 and love is shacking you, as they are doing the traditional or whatever, they say, let's go to registry 21 days, let them mark this in, let's marry. You are protecting yourself. So that if after that the man goes ahead to marry another woman, in the eyes of the law, that woman is just a mistress. You remain the original wife. God forbid, if everybody lives their life and death comes eventually, they will not take the property that belongs to you and start sharing to everybody in the public. The legal wife and the children under the marriage that is under the acts, Matrimonial Causes Act of Nigeria, will prevail, and the law will give cause to that marriage, to that the deceased person, how to get your what do you call it now, estates and all that, because you have submitted yourself to the state. What do I do now? You submit to the family, get the consent of the father, go to the state, get the consent of the government, registry, local registry. It doesn't have to be Ikoyi, anywhere, it's okay. Yeah, because some people don't go to Ikoyi, they are not comfortable. Inside Iba here, anywhere, Gege, all of them have full rights, full stack right. Don't let anybody tell you that federal, it's a lie. In fact, as a matter of fact, they automatically even have better rights than Ikoyi, but Ikoyi somehow has now decided to show power. But none of those documents will be lesser than the other whenever they are presented. Do we understand what I'm trying to say here right now? So that, then when you have done that, if you are as a Christian, as a child of God, as a believer, remember the person that wedded you under the family, all the traditions of your father's house and everything can be following you. You go to the States, the person that joined both of you together, he doesn't even know whether he's born again, doesn't know whatever is following him. Then you come to submit to God and say, I present this marriage to God. That's why it is important. That's why you come to the church and say, Pastor, I may not be able to do big things, but I want a prophetic blessing over my marriage. So your parents have blessed you, yes, which is fundamental. The state has given you authority to live together and giving you the certification. Then the church can even go the extra mile and say, we will go to the state on your behalf. We will go and get the documents from the state. If you come to us and we provide the same state documents and eventually get both of you wedded, you don't need to go to the registry. Whatever you did with us, we collected it from where? From the states. Do we understand what I'm trying to say here right now? And that brings you under divine order. So whenever anybody is trying to attack your marriage, if it's a state issue, you present state. Whenever they try to attack your marriage, if it's a family issue, you under family coverage, you have them. Whenever they try to attack your marriage, it's a spiritual issue, you have covering. Is anybody getting what I'm saying right now?